morning and overcome today. My name is Jeremiah Nkosi, and as always, I'm never alone. I'm with my young, beautiful wife, Nkosi. This is Sold Out TV, and we are, once again, a blended family.
Yes, welcome again. It's so good to be with you again today. You've welcomed us into your home, and we really appreciate that. So we believe that today, what will be said, what will be portrayed to you about blended families, it will have an impact in your life or the life of someone you know. So thank you so much, and welcome to the show.
Indeed, as we welcome you to the show, it is the new season, it is a spring day. So we're saying happy spring to you.
Oh, yes.
And we've concluded the Women's Month. From my heart to your heart, I love you. Thank you for mothering our 5 children. Speaking of mothering of 5 children, we've had variety of episodes whereby we went through with our children where they've shared their own concerns, starting with the episode where my young beautiful wife and Her Majesty, as fondly known to everyone as Minentle. Yes, there were a lot of things that they shared. Maybe you can recap of what you guys were talking about on that day.
Yes, we were basically talking about our journey, where it all started and how it has been. It was mainly focused on the child, getting to understand how the experiences of the child. How has it been? How was it when me and Daddy first met? And how has the journey been? And what are the challenges? And as well as her also giving advice to other children that has also been in the same similar setup of a blended family. So it was a fun episode. We had a good laugh. And what stood out the most for me in that episode is understanding exactly what a child goes through or a girl child goes through during the journey of a blended family. Especially when she mentioned, when she was advising other young children, mentioning how they have other challenges beyond just a blended family, which any young girl or boy might have during school. There's peer pressure, there's a whole lot of things. There's school itself, having to get the best grades, and then for them, then you have a blended family where you also have to find a way to fit in the family. So I got to understand that our children are not just dealing with us, are not just dealing with this family. They have also their lives outside, where they have to also make sure that they measure up according to their standards and level. At the same time, have to come back home and also find a way to make this blended family work. So there's a bit of extra responsibility on them, regardless of the pressure, the stresses that goes on in a young child's life. There's also the pressure, the stresses, the challenges that comes in with a blended family. So that was quite interesting to get and grasp from her on that day, to understand that it goes beyond just us in her life.
Well, as you've seen, ladies had a nice outing where they were drinking milkshake and it was lovey-dovey. Then there came an episode whereby it was me and the boys. I hope you loved my sons. The last boy's son was last born son was not part of the show at that time. However, too small, yeah. Joseph and Sipesihle, according to me, they've hit it hard. They've hit it at home. I'll start with Joseph. Joseph expressed what not anyone anticipated that he was gonna share. He poured his heart out. There was a part where I always say he was crying. You know, he was not crying because of the pain. He was crying because of the expression that was deep-seated from inside.
Well, when we speak to Joseph, he said the sun was in his eyes, so he was not crying. The sun was too much in his eyes, and then tears were coming out of his eyes. That was so funny. He even wanted to log in during the episode with his own YouTube account so that he can write on the comments, guys, I'm not crying, it's the sun in my eyes. But yeah, we had a good time afterwards when he said that.
Yeah, and when you look at what Sihle spoke about, Sihle as the firstborn within the blended family, we explained how we met and all those things. However, Sihle took it further to say the repercussions of separation, the repercussions of being a boy accepting another man into your life. That's a bit difficult when there is no maturity. But now at his age, he was able to unpack it to the point that now he's self-taught that in his own future marriage, he's striving not to go through divorce. He's striving to make it work no matter what. He's striving to be the better husband, to make sure that the family that you'll have, that the wife that he's going to be married to, and I know it's going to be young, beautiful like the mother, So it comes with the boy territory. So that, to me, my boys, they rotated around one thing. And I'll explain today why they kept on saying communication. It is simply because the communication part that should come from me or from us as parents is to ensure that all the time we tell them that, look, this is where we are as a family. This is what we seek to achieve. This is because when a blended family, there's another family that is outside this family. So it's to make sure that when it's time to visit, we communicate better.
Even with them,
to say, you're going to be with us for these holidays. They don't get a surprise, they just get shipped. Today they're in Durban, tomorrow they're in Cape Town. So all those things need to be communicated. It's like pre-planning. As you said, as my young beautiful wife said, that they have their own lives outside of the family. So they need to do their planning also to say, okay, I'll be away for so long. Then they know what is the setup at home within the blended family, at the home with their mother. So from the boy point of view, as a father, I was very appreciative of them, that they were able to express themselves without being shy, without holding back, to put it blank to say, look, we are happy where we are. However, these are the things that we need to improve on. So take it from that episode that as a blended family, we need to sharpen each other all the time, from parents within and the parents that are not living with the children. And now from my boys' point of view, I salute them. I'm not wearing a hat today, so I can't take off my hat for them. But the message that they were driving across was to say, as fathers, what we need to do for our sons shapes their future. Now, where they are, Joseph, where he is, as young as he is, he knows what kind of a father he wants to be. Sihle, he's matured. He knows what type of a marriage that he wants to be in. And now, when you look at it from outside, not knowing what it goes into the inside, you might read it wrongly. However, take it as raw as it is. It was unscripted, uncensored, uncoached. They express their true feelings. So that is what blended family is all about. Because you cannot sugarcoat things, you cannot even put salt in it. Leave it the way it is. Allow the children to be children, so that tomorrow they are able to be better fathers. As a father, I strive to raise my children to be better fathers, better than me, because I don't want them to be a replica of me. However, within their own scope of life, they must be able to see, okay, Daddy did this, I'll do it this way. And whenever they make a mistake, that is what I like about it. I must be a father that is open. They run to me instead of running against from me to say, Daddy's gonna kill me. Let me not tell him what is happening. So that is what our episode was about. Unfortunately, if you saw it differently, that's how it is. That's a blended family.
Yeah.
It's a reality of what we go through all the time.
And what I picked up a lot when Sihle was talking about how he had, the children have to accept and invite in the new parent. when you got married to Mommy One, he invited you into, he
Yes.
accepted you into his life, and there was a sort of like there was a father and son relationship that happened. And then now when that separation had to happen, he also felt like, okay, I have accepted him now.
So he feels like he's
also
being dropped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the things that came to me, that as parents, when we make decisions, we need to also have in mind, yes, I know we want what's best for our children, but also think about what the thoughts and the impact that it has on a child when a separation happens. Because it's not only the separation of mother and father. Yes, mother and father. There's also a separation happening in them as well, because they feel that, okay, maybe I'm never going to see my mother, or I'm never going to see my father. So as much as it hurts the adults, it's also hurting the children, because the two of you know what is upsetting you.
Yes, but the child does not know.
They are not in the marriage, they are not in the argument. Some arguments we have behind the closed doors in a bedroom, but the children are not there. They don't know where the fight started.
Yes.
You find some children who sometimes blame themselves,
because they will think and actually you're right. Sorry to interject. Actually you're right. Like you take the case of Caesar. Caesar will think that he was the cause of the separation because he's not my biological son. However, if we communicated with him to say, look, this is where we are as mommy and daddy, and these are the decisions that we are taking, and in protecting you, inverted commas, he was gonna say, no guys, this thing is affecting me this way. Then we are able to deal with it maturely instead of just separating and destroying everything.
And because now when communication, going back again to communicating with the children, making them understand what is it that is happening. I know, or some of us from our background while growing up, it was not easy for our parents to tell us everything. But times have changed. Our children are exposed to a whole lot of things. I mean, when I was my children's age, I didn't know the internet. I didn't have a phone. I didn't know how to go to Google and search all these things. So they're exposed to a lot of things that we are not exposed to. And it's better when the information is coming from the parents to sit down with them and make them understand what is going on, what is happening between mommy and daddy. And whatever that is happening between mommy and daddy that is causing this separation, it has nothing to do with them.
Me as a child, yes.
Your father not being able to, me not being able to be with your father as a husband does not mean that there's something wrong when it comes to him being a father.
Yes.
And that's also what adults also need to separate.
Yes.
Just because I'm not a good wife to you does not necessarily mean I'm going to be a bad mother.
Yes.
Hence also that when it comes to after separation and whether the child will interact with the father or whether the child will interact with the mother, we need to take that in consideration, that because he failed as a life partner, because he failed as a husband, because she failed as a mother, as a wife, does not mean she will fail as a mother. And the other way around, it does not mean he will fail as a father. We need to separate those issues because we cannot combine them. The relationship you have with your spouse is not the same relationship that your spouse has with their daughter or the son. And we need to be able to separate those issues, because when we separate those issues, our children are able to have what they call, like, whenever they need to be with the father, they can do that. Whenever they need to be there, there is that freedom, because the adults understand that what happened between us does not have to affect the relationship we have with our children. So therefore, when our children accept a new parent, there's a lot of emotion.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that go on in their minds and in their heart, because now they have to open up their heart to a new father or open up their heart to a new mother. Therefore, when it's that separation again and the child is not necessarily like in your case with CJ. They can feel that, what am I supposed to do now? I don't have a relationship with my biological father, but now I finally got a father that will father me. Now he's also leaving. A child can start thinking maybe there's something wrong with me if things are not communicated to them. The importance of communication, the importance of time spent with the children. Let them understand that what is happening between mom and daddy, it has nothing to do with the child. It has nothing to do with the children that are in the marriage. It is solely because this relationship between mommy and daddy is not working, but the relationship between you as the child and mommy, or you as the child and daddy, it can still continue. That is not, the separation, it does not involve that. Therefore, I think for me, it's what I picked up a lot, that as adults we make decisions and we drag the children along.
Yes.
Instead of making the decision and involving the children for them to understand what is going on between mommy and daddy, and how will that change my current setup, and how going forward, what is it that will affect me in this new setup that I'm going into.
You know, children, I must share this openly. When we started Blended Family, we didn't script how the children are going to respond. Hence, we allowed them an opportunity to express themselves freely. So we must be in cognizance that they are children, and they've got their own brains, their own minds, their own standing in society. So now, whatever decision that we make as parents, we must not be a true reflection on the hindrance of the progression of the child. The child needs to remain accessible to the mother and the father. We must shy away from this thing of harboring offense to the point that my children cannot see the mother, or the children cannot see the father. We brought these children together for a purpose. That purpose does not change regardless of the relationship between us as a mother and father, or a husband and wife, is no longer there. The sole purpose that God allowed us to bring this child together is still remain within the child. So when you now separate and destroy that purpose, you fail not only yourself, but you fail the very child that you're trying to protect. And moving right along into the squad, there was an episode about the squad, you know. Yes, the squad was all over the place, and mommy, we thank God we didn't die.
Come on.
Okay, let's not go there.
I was a good driver and I know it. I'll blame it on the car.
Blame it on the car. Yes, we had an episode with the squad whereby all of us now had to express our frustrations, our expectations. The sole reason for that was so that we are able to learn as a family our own shortcomings and we improve on them, and to appreciate the very little work that we've done jointly, to say how far we've come. You know, it is all by the grace of God that we are here today, and we are still looking forward to greater future. But we cannot move unless we know what are the bolts that needs to be tightened, what are the nuts, the bolts and nuts that needs to be tightened, what are the screws that needs to be unfastened, so that we are able to move as a family collectively. We don't have children that are just waiting for, I normally call it an ID, or they're waiting for a certain age that once I'm out of this house, I can start living my life. No. We must move away from that. We must grow all together, not only as parents in a marriage, grow all together with our children, so that even when they are 30, 50 years older than us, they still look at us as parents and they appreciate us. There is no cursing that will happen because we failed them. We cannot fail twice. I believe we cannot fail twice. You cannot fail as a husband or fail as a wife and fail as a parent. It's impossible. Even that so-called failure is not failure. It's because now there's a no amicable solution. Then separate ways is the best one. However, that, I emphasize, that should not affect the children's upbringing. Children must have full access to both parents, because that will help them to sharpen their life skills, their life orientation, and their life expectations going forward.
Because there's a lot that our children take from us. And when we had the episode with the squad, we shared, the children shared their experiences in different households, how the rules differ. And that was very interesting to me, because now that means a child in a blended family has to be very flexible.
Yes.
Because in this household, this is what is expected of me. In the other household, this is what is expected of me. Therefore, the child has to always adjust.
Yes.
I remember even in the episode where it was you and the boys, Joseph mentioned about adjusting.
Yes.
Because he's still young, so obviously he first needs to grasp the rules in our household and the rules in the other household. Therefore, they have to adjust now and then into where am I right now? What is it that is expected of me in this? So that goes back to children in this situation. They are the ones who, yes, we might have to go and heal through the divorce and the separation, and come into this new relationship or new marriage. Now we are stable, but they still have to. For them to maintain that relationship, they still have to go from one household to the other, one household to the other. So their stability is sort of disturbed in a way. So that's why it is a journey for them to eventually get used to this new setup, that on weekends I'm with Daddy and Daddy's family, my new family, and during the week I'm
on the other side.
Yes. So that to me stood out a lot, to understand that when you are with them, you also need to understand those dynamics.
Yes. It requires a lot of emotional intelligence to be invested within the children, because that talks to their upbringing, that talks to their it affects even their IQ. You'll find that the child, when there is no communication, as my sons kept on repeating, communication, is not about communicating about petty things. It's about shaping their future. It's got a very personal future. It's got a very dynamic influence into their future, because they will now know what to do and what not to do. Now, emotional intelligence become constrained now, because now going forward, if there's no communication, they are not able to communicate even within themselves. They are not able to communicate with their peers, because us as parents, we don't communicate properly. So communication within a blended family is what makes a blended family work. It removes the blending. Then you are left with pure family. That connection it becomes stronger, because we communicate freely, we communicate openly, and there's this significant love that glues all of us together. Unconditionally, not because this one is not mine, that one is not mine. There's no favoritism. It is a journey. It takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of encouragement, and it takes a lot of prayers. So don't give up, continue on the journey, and make sure that everyone within the blended family, they are able to express themselves freely. There is no favoritism when it comes to even parenting. To say, no, me, I'll parent this way, you parent this way. Now that will cause a separation between the children. And not only children, remember we've got in-laws, as I call them, in-loves. Our in-loves will now start looking at ourselves, say, hey, so we don't want such separation. We make sure that you bring everyone together under the one unity of love.
Yes. And going back to communication, communication between the parents and the children, and also the parents together. So, because now there's a situation where Joseph has to go see Daddy.
Yes.
I don't communicate with you.
Yes.
And then next thing you see, flight arrangement, everything is done, and then you find out closer to the day. Oh no, we need to get Joseph close. What's happening? No, Joseph must visit. It needs to be, because when the child is in the house, the father and the son, there's no more, no, this is not my son, this is not my father. They are father and son. They have father and son plans. And you find that you agree without involving the other parent, and that can cause a bit of a friction.
Yes.
So in instances where one of the children needs to visit the other parent, it is important for the parent in the blended family to communicate about the arrangement. It must suit both of you.
Both of them.
Yes, it must be in a manner that it suits you, parents, the other parent, and especially the child.
The child, yes.
Because when communication is not done properly, the process of that visit will be stressful for the couple,
yes,
and as well as for the child.
For the
because
child.
Children can see.
Yeah.
Children can see when there's no agreement about
Within,
what is happening in that situation. Therefore, communication goes also with the married couple in a blended family. It is important to always share the arrangement, discuss it together. When is the visit? Would be over holidays? Okay, how are we going to go about the visit? It's a joint it's a joint effort and a joint agreement.
Yes.
And everything is able to flow better, and the child also is able to understand what is expected of them and when are they leaving and what are the arrangements, because both parents are involved. Because if I do the arrangement and I tell the son, sometimes when they are, maybe daddy fetch him from school and then ask daddy, when am I leaving for Kimberley? Daddy has no clue. Then the child is able to pick up, there's actually no communication between my parents, mommy and daddy, because now he's not able to tell me about this arrangement that I know of. Communication goes, the children have emphasized it. We've emphasized it in our first episode. Even now, we continuously emphasize, because most marriages break because of lack of communication.
Yes. Speaking of communication, I've paid a lot of school fees for non-communication. From the past, I used not to communicate because of the inferiority that I used to feel. So that caused the breakdown of the marriage, because I would never communicate. I would think that I've got it all. Remember, the struggle is real. You can think you got it all, but you don't have it all. That is why God gives us a wife as a helper.
Yes.
You must communicate with her, whether it's difficult or it has got nothing to do with my ego. I should be as humble enough to say, look, I'm struggling in this area. You'll find that she is strong. Non-communication is one of the elements that failed me in the past. So hence now, we brought blended families to say, look, trust me, there's a lot of people that are in the blended families. There is a lot. Because once you have a child, if you're not married, when you're married, you're in a blended family.
Yes.
When there is a death in that marriage, you have been a blended family. Whether you've separation. So blended family is a very sensitive thing. However, let us educate each other. Take it from our own life story. This is our real life story. Take it from us, apply it into your own and see, what can I improve? What can I not improve? Okay, we're not living in the same marriage. However, this talks to me, this doesn't talk to me. As opposed to saying, no, it is not what you're supposed to speak about. The more we do not speak about blending in the blended family, is the more we're going to have this, I stress again, violence within the society and the marriage. It starts from the separation of ideas where we don't find common ground. So we are a blended family. We've done whatever we could, and we're still going to do some more, so that we are able to sharpen ourselves. Our children, they must know that they're growing from the blended family. I was so amazed by my sons when I asked them bluntly, so do you guys think you can grow old together? They say, yes, that's the whole idea. That gives me comfort, to say whatever small fathering I'm doing for these sons that are not biologically blind, it's got a great impact that they want to grow old together as brothers. So imagine what type of families they're going to build with that foundation.
And another thing is that through this process, even us as a family, we got to learn a lot.
Yes.
Especially when we heard our children speaking, opening up about their challenges, their frustration. It's helping us as a family as well.
Yes.
And it's also helping the children when they also hear about our frustration, our challenges, and also the opportunities. I mean, the great moments, the effort to make this work. All of us through this process, we learned a lot learned more about each other, learn more about what level are we in now currently in our journey as a blended family, and what is there to improve on, what is there to continue pushing and making sure that it becomes better, or making sure that we continue implementing it within our blended family so that it can even make this family prosper more. So when we teach, there's also an opportunity for you to learn.
Yes.
And it is very important to have that open mind, because we are doing this not because we have figured it all out.
No.
We have done our best to make it work.
Yes.
And we believe that there are also families out there who are having this challenge and who are thinking, because we've had communication from families that were saying, I've been dealing with this challenge but I didn't know who to turn to.
Yes.
I've been dealing with this challenge but I didn't know how to go about it. You coming out with this type of topic or series where it is usually kept under the carpet has done something in my family.
Yes.
That now we know how can we go about bringing this up, this blended family that we have. How can we go about having a relationship with children that are not from this marriage? And so this is a learning process for us.
Yes.
And it is us to share our experience with those that are out there that are in a similar situation, and to only believe that this will have a greater impact in all of us, because sharing your story can only impact the society positively, because the society gets to understand that I am not the only one going through this.
The foundation of a society is a family. Every family contributes towards a bigger community. Now, when the family is broken, definitely there's going to be a negative impact in the community. Hence, now the societal ills are going to be a lot of them, because there's a lot of broken families. Now that we are out here, we know many families they are in need to share their own story. That is why the new season is coming, exciting stuff, a new season, whereby other families that have communicated with us, they say, please, let us join you in your virtual studio, wherever it is, because no one knows actually where we are. Sometimes even ourselves, we don't know, we just get told. Today we are here, tomorrow we are there. So other families have requested, they've sent us, and thank you so much for your feedback. We needed such feedback so that we know what we're doing. Does it touch home? Does it build the society? We want to see what you call it, marriage, good marriage.
Yes. We want godly marriage, good godly marriage trending.
Yeah, you see, generational gap. They want trending. So now those who've given us feedback to say we want to be part of this, and now this is how they can be part of it. So we will be meeting other families who will be featured in the show. They will share their experiences. We'll deal with practical issues, as we learn from what our own experience, we teach them, we learn from their experience.
Yes.
One family at a time. And you'll have one community at a time. That community is going to give us the whole country. The country is going to give us a continent. The continent is going to give us the entire world. So that is why now we're opening up to say, families, come forward. There are others that they come forward. They're saying, come, let's talk together. Let's share notes. Let's see our books that we've written.
Yes.
How far we're going, or what can we do, can be done. So the new season is coming up. that does not mean that us we're not there. We are still there because there's still a lot of things that we must still share.
Yes.
Which one do you have in mind?
Okay, like one of the things that I would like to us as our family to share is that how did we come about building a relationship with the other parents of our children? Because yes, it is smooth now, but it has not always been that way.
Yes.
So how did you overcome those differences? How did you overcome this new setup with so that you can build a relationship where now we are in good terms with your former mommy one, we are in good terms with my former husband and the wife, things are, we are all civil with each other. So I would really love to have a time where now, where those of you who are in that situation and you are thinking, okay, now I understand that I need to have a good relationship with the other mom or the other dad for the sake of my child. So now how do I go about it? So that is, I would love really for us to address that. And going back to what you were saying, inviting families, you can look at our screen, our email address is there, and then if you would like to call us, there's the number also there. And email us, share your story, let us know that you also want to share your story to learn from others and also for people to learn from you, because they say each one teach one.
Yes.
So we will learn from you, you learn from us, and then together we strengthen each other, because we would like to see strong marriages rising up, coming up, because when we have more stronger marriages, we are able to defeat the enemy that is trying to destroy our society. Like my husband mentioned that when the family is destroyed, you have a lot of children in that family, or men or women in that family who are hurt. And when they go outside in the community, people that interact with them also get that ripple effect of that hurt. Therefore, when we are able to build each other together as a society, we learn from each other experiences. Or you are a family, you say, look, we are struggling with this. We want you to assist us with whatever knowledge that you have acquired through your journey. Here we are. We would like to come and share our story. You share yours, and then we together we build this blended family so that it can be strong and survive the turbulence, because the enemy does not rest. And in a blended family, he tries to get, he sees a lot of doors. But when you as a husband and wife and the children are able to know, how do I go about closing the doors for the enemy to enter? Or whenever he has managed to enter, how do I go about making sure that as a family we come together in unity?
Kick him out.
And we kick him out of our home, because he can use any angle, external, internal. But when you are strong as a family and you've dealt with the foundation, you've dealt with the groundwork, whenever you are at a certain level and he tries to intercept this marriage or this relationship with the children, you know how to pray him away. You know how to resist him so he can flee from your family. Because he is the reason why we separate. He is the reason why there is so much separation. There is so much children who are broken, mothers who are bitter, fathers who are bitter. But we need to change that generation. We say, let's come together and have a generation of blended families, or even not blended families, who are strong. Because there will be a time when we deal directly with marriage. And marriage does not only involve a blended marriage. It also involves other households that are married, and or those that are hoping to get married, to understand what goes on within a marriage.
So yes, the new series that is coming up, we'll be hosting different families. We'll be sharing notes. So join us. The one thing that I want to leave you with is that this thing of blended family, or making peace, or forgiving each other as parents, is not only for the sake of the children. It's for your own sake also. Because from when you start now having peace within, you're able to flourish on the outside. You know, you're able now to see the goodness in you. You're able to move on, because remember, stagnation is birth from the pain of the past. Is birth from a hurt, unforgiveness. So the pillar of strength of moving forward is forgiveness. So when we minute we forgive each other as parents, as former wives or former partners, we are able now to raise our children with forgiving spirit, because now they'll forgive themselves because they know it is not them. They'll forgive you for making that decision, and they'll be able now to forgive the new person that is coming to your life, in their life. So now forgiveness is the foundation of a good family. Not only blended family, of the entire family. So we're looking forward to hosting the new family, same days on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on Sold Out TV. As you continue subscribing on YouTube, liking on Facebook, then you join us in a conversation.
Yes, oh please. And I love what you mentioned about peace. You know, there's something called inner peace. When you are able to attain forgiveness, and when you are able to attain that peace, you know, the Bible talks about the peace that surpasses any human understanding. You know, there will be humans that will be looking into your family and the way things are happening, and they will not understand, because you have attained the peace from above, the peace that has brought this family together to such an extent that no matter what comes your way, no matter what comes to try and destroy or steal, kill and destroy, is not able to prosper. Therefore, finding peace, even your relationship as husband and wife, having that peace, it makes it far more nicer. The relationship with the kids, the kids are able to enjoy this mothering and fathering you are trying to do, because you have peace within you, and what you have inside of you can only overflow. Therefore, when the peace, the forgiveness, the love is overflowing to your children, that is what they can also take out there to the society. The same thing with the husband and the wife. Therefore, let us do our best to pray for forgiving hearts. Pray for that peace that surpasses any human understanding. Pray for the strength and unity in your family. Because when you have that, you can only prosper as a family. And yes, we're looking forward to meeting you again. We're looking forward to sharing more of our stories with you. And those who will be coming to join us and share their stories, and others who will be able to learn from them. We are very excited about that. Because when you get a response of families saying, look, we're no longer going to put this under the carpet. We're going to get it out there so that the future generation will be able to defeat this enemy. Because it says, whatever we conquer, our children possess. So when we conquer this enemy that tried to destroy his family and tried to destroy the society, our children will possess good marriages. Our children will possess good, godly marriages. Our children will possess good futures. So thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe. Catch us on Tuesday at 7 p.m. We love you so much. Thank you for allowing us in your household. Here we are. Share with us your experiences. Even if you feel like, no, I'm not ready to be on a show. Our email is there. Send us your questions. Send us your experiences, and let us assist you. And as well as let us assist each other. Because when we hold hands, for us to make sure that we have great families, we can only prosper in that regard.
That is why they say a family that is together, the house that stands together cannot be divided.
Amen.
But the house that is divided cannot stand.
Ish.
So let us do our best to stand together as families, you know. Thank you for allowing us through whatever channel that you're using, your iPod, iPad, whatever type of
Your
pod
devices.
that you well, I'm not from there. We are the Nkosi family. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us in your space. And remember, you are great from the beginning.
Yes,
You overcome today, you'll overcome tomorrow. Each day you are an overcomer. And nothing can make you fail as long as you make sure that you remain united as a family. I salute your faith. We'll meet you soon. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Good morning. Overcome today.
Amen.